If COVID-19 wasn't dominating the news right now, what would be some of the biggest stories be right now? Egypt and Ethiopia are close to going to war due to Ethiopia building a dam on the Nile River. Ethiopia is diverting some water and limiting water flow to Egypt. The Ethiopian government is refusing to honor previous agreements made that detail the rate at which they will fill the lake behind their dam, and they refuse to negotiate any further with the Egyptians. CRISPR was just successfully injected into a live patient to treat genetically caused blindness. Source: Alex Salmon. Whoa, that's awesome. The nth room. Sex crime case in Korea. Please read about it if you can. It's absolutely horrifying. The nearly 2-year-long Ebola outbreak in the DRC has ended. The last patient to be treated has survived. Wow. I was worried about this a couple of months ago, but then the pandemic that must not be named took over my attention and I forgot about it. Incredibly brave people fighting Ebola. Such a scary disease. Brexit. I almost miss it. I do miss it. It never affected me, but I loved hearing British people yelling at each other when I turned on NPR, and the whole thing just sounded really cool. Brexit was with me through 3 different homes and 2 different countries. The former king of Spain and his Swiss accounts. Wow. That is crazy. Seems like it's the perfect time to get away with whatever you want. The Lori Vallow/Chad Daybell case is still alive and well. ISIS bombs Sikh place of worship in Afghanistan. Afghan officials say 25 were killed and 8 more are wounded in an attack on the Sikh temple in the nation's capital. It appears multiple gunmen stormed the temple complex while there were approximately 150 people inside. A Sikh who took cover says the militants went room to room, shooting and throwing hand grenades. The Islamic State organization has claimed responsibility. Earn It bill. It seeks to end encryption in the USA. It would be a huge hit to online free speech. One of the main routes into downtown Seattle, the West Seattle Bridge, was closed yesterday because cracks in support beams made it structurally unsound. It will take several months to fix and will not reopen until it's done. This would normally destroy the entire Seattle commute, but it happened right now, so it's barely even a blip on the local news. Real talk, this was probably the best possible time for this to happen. I would hope the locusts plaguing East Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent. It's describing some swarms as being the size of New York, and they are eating their harvest, threatening widespread famine. I think without coronavirus we would mobilize to try to control this population the way we did for Zika carrying mosquitoes in the Americas. Edit. This NPR article describes how in 2018 an unfortunate series of cyclones from the Indian Ocean hit an extremely remote area of the Arabian Peninsula known as the NT Quarter. This produced extraordinary rain and gave them what they needed to breed. Because a second cyclone hit occurred during their breeding cycle. Instead of drying out and having most of their population die out in the desert, the population exploded. In favorable conditions they can multiply by 400x their population every 6 months. Then they mass migrated. Also, for clarity, a swarm was identified as 3 times the size of New York City. I swear I remember hearing about some group readying up like 200k ducks to go fight the locusts. Cause one duck can eat like 150 locusts a day or something. I'll have to find a source. Edit. No idea how accurate this is, but it's from March 2nd. http://www.google.com/am/www.express.co.uk/news/world/1,245,489/locust plague Pakistan Africa locust swarm attack ducks Xinjiang/amp. Astronomer here. We might have a bright naked eye comet next month in the northern hemisphere, our first since 1997. Comet C/2019 Atlas Y4 is brightening really quickly, and by May, might be one of the brightest things in the night sky. I mean, comets are notoriously tricky to predict in brightness, as it might just break apart as it gets closer to the sun. But it's really exciting to think about, albeit no one has heard about it because of the pandemic. Though granted, doesn't a pandemic need a bright comet? Edit. You might be able to get it in binoculars right now, or at least have fun trying. Here is a star chart for it. And yes, The last bright northern hemisphere great comet was Hale-Bopp, which was up for about a year to the naked eye. If you were a southern hemisphere resident in 2006, however, you probably remember Comet McNaught. Edit 2, because many are asking, that bright star in the evening sky is actually Venus. It's around its peak brightness and height right now, and you should go take a look, if your social distancing allows it. Might as well take a break from Netflix, and look at a whole nother planet. Close bracket. Edit 3. No, there is no chance of the comet hitting us, or affecting life on Earth beyond potentially getting bright. The ozone layer is getting better. This is the first positive news I have read in this thread. I'd like to say the Earn It Act, but shit like this doesn't tend to make the news. Earn It is only on the table because of COVID-19. There's no way they would try this if we weren't distracted. Probably the oil price war actually. Saudi Arabia is trying to force the Russians into cutting production, since they won't play ball with OPEC Plus, and US shale might pay the price as we need high cost for this entire industry to function. I'd argue right now that, if COVID wasn't happening, neither would the oil price war. They can only drop the price of oil super cheap, because demand dropped through the floor. The earthquake in Zagreb. The locusts in Africa. Well, probably not in American news, but it's still pretty big news, you know. It's hitting Pakistan too, and China is prepping to send 700,000 ducks to stop the locusts. Easy to control, and one duck can eat 200 locusts a day. That Putin changed his country's constitution, so he can be president until 2036. I think we've all known for a while that dude's going to leave power in a casket, and not a moment sooner. The insider trading scandal in Congress. Enthroom case in Korea. Telegram porno sexual slavery ring with 74 victims including underage girls. The Telegram groups had 260,000 members. The Enthroom perpetrators are accused of luring victims, including minors, into sending sexually explicit photos and videos. In some cases, this escalated to using blackmail to force victims into increasingly violent acts, including sexual assault. Absolutely disgusting. I'm surprised that this news didn't get bigger internationally. Edit. Don't let this get buried. One of the guys in charge of the rooms has had his identity revealed and the rest, one other main guy and the people who participated, are being investigated as of right now. Reports are saying that a few high-profile celebrities, professors, and athletes are some of the 260k involved in the viewing and or distributing of the illegal contents, which is unsurprising considering the entrance fee to access these rooms were between $300 to $1,500. Hope justice is served and served well. Korean law is known to be very forgiving for sex crimes, so I hope things change with this. Edit. Here is an article you can read to get more information. #TWO with one of the victims. Another in-depth article. Edit 2. It's been recently reported that one of the youngest victims include one as young as 9 years old, 11 years old, and also an underage female idol/singer. That guy that was the second person ever to be cured of HIV. Technically that happened a long time ago. He's still cured, as was expected, like 3 years later. The government is trying to basically ban encryption and start imprisoning website owners if their users say the wrong things. Crisis. *HAPPENS*. Government. Time to start taking more civil liberties from our people. Weinstein. The bill Congress is trying to push through to end encryption, voter suppression, the list could go on. Even Weinstein getting coronavirus barely seemed to be a blip on the news radar. It even comes with the specious naming of the Earn It Act, the fast tracking of a silent bill through the Senate to dismantle encryption, in the name of protecting the children from exploitation on the internet, while everyone is trying to stay home, healthy and worry about the next weeks and months of their lives. They're pushing this one through during all the SARS-CoV-2 distraction. The US government trying to pass an anti-child porn law that actually just gives them the ability to search through all of our messages. Edit. If you want to learn more about this act, here's a link to an article with some great information. And also bans end-to-end encryption. If you know anything about internet security, you know that would be devastating to literally everything that's based online in any way whatsoever. Bill Gates leaving Microsoft. Whoa. Bill Gates left Microsoft 12 days ago. I don't think it changes much. He was on the board, not running daily operations. I doubt they would ignore him if he made a suggestion, though. That all the millions of dollars we raised for the people affected by the bushfires in Australia has maybe vanished. I've spoken to a few people whose houses burnt down, and they haven't seen a cent. Where did the money raised go, I wonder? The money that went to reputable organizations will still be handed out for a while. Those orgs know that the need lasts a lot longer than the news spotlight and public attention. Even worse for the tourist towns that are now not getting any traffic over Easter and likely until at least summer. Genocide in Myanmar. It's been going on for a while and only recently has there been a vote on if it's a problem. The 2020 presidential election. Earthquake in Zagreb 3 days ago. Corona and earthquake damage are two news in the news. The US government wanting to ban end-to-end encryption. It's fucking stupid. What I've heard is that companies that continue to use end-to-end encryption will be stripped of their Section 230 protections. They will then be responsible for any illegal shit found on their platform, which will really fuck up every social networking platform, because there's gonna be illegal shit on there. Companies that comply and remove their E2E encryption will keep their Section 230 protections, but essentially open up their platform to a host of security vulnerabilities. As a cybersecurity enthusiast, I should point out that a ton of its supporters seem very uninformed on the benefits of E2E encryption. It's a stupid idea. Edit. For those wondering why the government is even considering this, it's because the bill supporters claim it will bring child predators to justice. It's a stupid idea that won't work, and I honestly don't see how anyone with the slightest bit of clarity could think otherwise. It's already spring. Holy shit, you're right. In Scotland, former First Minister being cleared of rape charges. Yes, the Hong Kong protests are still ongoing. The Chinese government is getting more heavy-handed now that everyone's attention is focused elsewhere. Andrew Gillum, married with kids, almost became governor of Florida, was found naked, high on meth and drunk in a hotel with an overdosing male escort. Hey, nobody can say he doesn't embody Florida though. Country leaders trying to secure their position as heads of state for unlimited duration. Example, Russia and Ukraine. Maybe not the biggest, but ones that couldn't gotten way more traction. Linda Farstein sues Netflix, claiming they defamed her character with "When They See Us, Greenland and Antarctica are melting 6 times faster than they were in the 1990s. China pulls credentials from journalists at 3 major US publications. Australia is recovering somewhat from the disastrous fire season. But there's still the fear the next one could be just as bad or worse. Reply if you'll want more stories. Edit. Okay, you wanted more. Here's some more. Police on Greece's border with Turkey used tear gas and water cannon to repel hundreds of migrants trying to get into the country. Tom Brady leaves the Patriots for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There was an attempted mass shooting/assault in Garden Grove, California. Teachers union strike concerning failed negotiations. Blind man fails citizenship test after being denied braille. Edit 2. As you/sing and play 65 pointed out, the original student protest link was about the teachers union striking about failed negotiations. I actually mixed it up with this story, which is about students at Kennedy Catholic High School who planned a protest about 2 gay teachers pressured to resign. These are all awful, but that last one strikes me as particularly unfair. The fact scientists discovered a new dinosaur that was the size of a hummingbird, and they also found a new planet behind Pluto in our solar system. Edit. Thank you to all the kind people who pointed out that the new planet they found is actually an exoplanet. Source. Edit. Reaper of Death Tyrannosaur discovered in Canada. NASA planet hunter finds its first Earth-size habitable zone world. Found those too, but not sure if these are the ones FinecFox_Queen meant. If not, I'll fix it right up. Edit. Got the first one wrong. Sorry about that. FinecFox_Queen meant this one. Forget Batman. New species of bat-winged dinosaur